People ask why I cut my brother out of my life. The truth isn't something you can just say out loud. It's the kind of truth that poisons every memory that came before it. My younger brother David has always carried this quiet, burning resentment toward me. But here's the thing, if you're assuming it was because I outshined him or because he lived in my shadow, you couldn't be more wrong. He was the golden child. The favorite. The one who could do no wrong. From the moment we were kids, our mom treated him like a little prince. She cooked his meals, washed his clothes, and even asked me to help him with his homework. Meanwhile, no one ever lifted a finger for me. I was expected to just handle myself. And I did. I was independent. Maybe too independent, because it made them think I didn't need anything at all. David, though, he never helped me. He only came to me when he wanted something. While I was quiet, bookish, and a little awkward, he was loud, reckless, and honestly, a carbon copy of our dad. And unlike me, he always knew how to work a crowd. I think my straightforwardness annoyed my mom. I never sugarcoated anything, and over time, that turned into this invisible wedge between us. She adored David, and I was just there. And I might have tolerated it as a kid, but things got a whole lot uglier as we grew older. David loved to mock me. Tease me about my glasses, my height, the way I kept to myself. He used to sneak into my room, grab my diary, and read it out loud like some twisted comedy special. Then he'd run to mom and tattle about what I wrote, as if I was the villain for daring to have private thoughts. When I complained, they laughed it off. "Oh, that's just how brothers bond," mom would say. Bond? He once put tiny stones in my cereal. Stones. If I hadn't noticed, I could have cracked a tooth. He loved finding my weak spots and pressing on them. At school, I was bullied by a couple of kids, and instead of standing up for me, my own brother joined them. He called me names, ugly, loser, hairy monkey, whatever would make the crowd laugh louder. And one day, during some pointless argument I can't even remember, he looked at me dead in the eyes and told me to kill myself. I can still hear that sentence echoing in my head like it happened yesterday. It wasn't just cruel, it was a punch to the gut at a time when I was already fighting a quiet war with my own thoughts. But of course, no one really cared. Dad was working all the time, and mom? She blamed me for irritating him. As if his cruelty was something I had brought upon myself. Things escalated in high school. There was one moment that still makes my stomach twist when I think about it. David tried to set my hair on fire. I'm not exaggerating. He thought it was funny. For the first time, Dad stepped in. He threatened to call the police. And I swear, David's face lost every ounce of smugness in that moment. He had never faced consequences in his life. Not once. Later that night, Dad came into my room. I braced myself for a lecture, but instead, he said something I'll never forget. I thought he'd grow out of it. But he's turning into a bully, son. Hearing my father say that, someone who'd always favored David, was like finally being seen after years of being invisible. I opened up. I told him everything. Every cruel prank. Every word. Every bruise that wasn't physical. The very next day, Dad went to my school. He warned the principal, the bullies, everyone. And then, he signed me up for MMA classes at the local gym. He told me I needed to learn to stand up for myself. To be honest, I was the last person you'd imagine throwing a punch. I was scrawny, awkward, the kid who got picked last in gym class.